Okay, friends, good morning. Uh, Streaming it side by side, recording the session as usual for the YouTube. Let me just share my screen first and give you a little bit of pre-cap about the part one. Of course, I hope you might be remembering certain points. The value creation part, which we took last, say, week on 30th April. So almost a gap of 10 days in it. So a recap is required a bit. So what we had discussed in that session was actually that we all need to take our feed practice to the next level, and there are ways to do that. But again, the basics in the management are the key. So I gave you a few value creation examples for documentation, staff training, both of those, and appointment scheduling as well. We all know the basics. The problem is that we don't know how to break them up. So how to take that giant leap forward, enhancing your services, and then developing a set of SOPs, which we discussed, moving on to carry out the same function with the same level of efficiency and value addition to the patient experience, which we have not been doing otherwise. And the core of the value creation we discussed, again, value creation, as I told, was a basic task, just enhancing their function by breaking it down into smaller executable levels. So we all know, we all schedule patients, sterilize, clean, do the history taking part, all those form filling part if we are doing in a manual way. And all these are to be incorporated in the patient system, and to achieve the wow factor in that. And as I said, it is little bit more than just simply being wow. But before achieving the wow or the value creation, we need to do a little bit of homework about where we actually stand, where we are, and where we want to go. Status of our reputation, along with our online presence. What is our status of referrals? How well managed is our clinic? How well oiled machine, like a well oiled machine, it is running? Efficiency level, productivity level, the team communication level. How good are your facilities, which are you are actually executing in your clinic? And we all have to think about those things from the patient perspective. Again, visual looks are important as well, along with the services part. It's not only the patient treatment part, the overall service experience, along with the visualization. I gave you a few example of what exactly can be the part of that, and how well it can integrate with your current service offering. And your systems which you are running in your practice, are they great or not, or are they not up to date? And the whole aim is to create a good patient experience. And then building a change into your practice is not sometimes greatly or overtly required. We just do it through the ongoing procedures only. We just have to break down those things with different aims and different tools that I gave. So I gave you an example of staff training and scheduling as well. How to create value in that, the patient scheduling part. How do we achieve that? Obviously, there has been a lot of discussion about what happens if the patient cancels our first, or we have to look at or have to attend to a patient who's actually walking in late, and we are working with our patient. We discussed that part. There is a video on YouTube coming at 8:30 today on patient cancellation as well today. So I hope that video will also help. Then I gave you a few short and small ways to make this patient experience a great one, and what are the small fine tuning tips we can add. Then, along with scheduling, I gave you an example of staff training as well. A little bit how we can actually script and document and repeat, eat, sleep, repeat exercise, as gave Virat Kohli's example for incorporating into wow customer service. So we can actually develop a SOP, and the thing is that we don't need to really look at certain things again and again. We need to make it a part of our system, make it a part of our clinical life, make it a part of our staff's life as well. So again, in the summary part, we all know that we need to measure patient satisfaction, and the carry home gyan was basically about that wow and value creation are interchangeable. It is basically, you don't have to do different things, you just have to do things differently, the same things differently, by breaking it up, by making the experience more intricate, by making the experience more enjoyable. So I gave you a few food for thought lines. So I hope this is a quick recap of what was there in the first session. So let me just stop my share and give you or start the presentation for today. So little bit longer than last time, but of course crisp and shorter in the carry home point, if I can see. So, firstly, apologies. The session was scheduled to be supposed to be yesterday at 7 a.m. I'm 24 hours late. I'll tell you the reason in the end whenever the desired slide comes for that purpose, and I hope you get to know that. So, as usual, always my presentations will begin the thanking the Lord Almighty, who's actually given me much more than what I deserve. So, this is my brief biodata. You are all aware of it. So we are into mini paid group webinar number 12, the value creation in dentistry part 2. I'll make sure when these go on YouTube, they will be together. You don't have to search for that. Whenever this video one goes live, 2 days afterwards or 3 days afterwards, this part 2 will go live. Practically, part 1 is scheduled to go live on 20th of April. So this part should go live on 22nd or 23rd sorry, 20th of May. So this part should go live on 20th, 22nd or 23rd of May, as a continuation of that part. So the reason I told you that day, there has been some change in the Zoom settings. Even today, I tried as a demo mode in the morning because there has been a communication going with them. The interface for making the Facebook presentations live has changed. If you can see the error message at the top, I've shared everything with them. They changed the settings as per their desire, but still not able to actually share to your group. Why I have kept this slide is because for the numbers and the figures, usually I have, even for the health insurance or the journal insurance that I took up, and of course the loan part as well, which we discussed in the Friday Chai Pe Charcha in the evening. Because of the numbers, I usually make sure that you watch that video again. I will not be able to share the same presentation tonight on the MPG group because of this valid reason. So either of you, those of you who have watched part one, can easily join part two. I'll give a recap as usual as I've given for this presentation. But if you have not watched part one and you want to attend loans part two, better make sure that you attend the MPG session part one before you hop on to session two in the evening, Chai Pe Charcha on loan discussion. So let's continue this presentation without much delay. So we discussed last time that it is basically nothing, value creation is nothing but a wow moment. We all need to, we all want to, we all love to create a wow patient service or a customer service if you can that. So I given you enough thought process on that. I'll give you a little bit more on thought process, and then we'll share the practical tips and practical discussion of what exactly can be the wow factors, or what exactly can be inculcate or add in our practice as the wow system in our practice. So let me just briefly tell you what exactly is a wow. So we all know that we need to deliver a great service, but the only thing is that it is a noisy marketplace. It is a, say, free world. It is a world full of dentists, we as we say. Even though we are just about 3 lakh in number, majority of them are females, and majority of them, those females, no disrespect, but they don't practice. At least my batchmates, we had 42, 43 girls and 17 or 18 boys. It's not, don't exactly remember out of that 60. I think 42 girls only. And trust me, only 6 of them are practicing, all world included. A couple of them are in US, a couple of them in UAE, the rest are in India. but only I think 6 or 7 maybe they are practicing. So, but still we say that dentists are found in abundance. In Punjab, there is a joke as well that every household has a Punjabi singer. So they say that similarly, every corner of India has a dentist. Every family has a dentist. But then, if there are a lot of many dentists, we need to understand that for capturing patients' attention, your content has to be really good. And content means what you are doing in your practice, or you are offering in your service potential. Obviously, we can say that it is easier said than done. How? Because you need to firstly have the patient through your door before you actually go into that task of making that wow experience. So we'll be discussing those things as well. So the first step in the wow part is to learning to recognize this. How? How do we do that? We all have experienced a wow moment in our life. Just think deeply about it. Maybe a couple of years back, pre-COVID, you went to Kerala or maybe to any other place where you actually were longing to go since long. The urge has to be there. The urge is very important. You fulfilled your urge, you went over there. Obviously that is God's own country. I'm giving example of Kerala here. So the nature, the scenic beauty, and of course, if the resort you was a Club Mahindra one, it is an excellent property in Munnar in Kerala. So the service is just awesome. So literally without any reason or without any provocation, if I may say so, the word wow shrieks out easily. It becomes gorgeous, and it is like a, say, transcendent moment, a heavenly moment that you actually feel, yeah, फिर से जाना है उस जगह पे. That is the kind of a wow factor which actually makes you go over there. Now translate the similar thing in your practice. The patients should not be afraid. Of course the patients won't be longing to go to the clinic. It is their need based thing. They have a trouble, they want to get rid of their trouble. But then why do patients break their treatment in between sometimes? Pain relief ho gaya, nahi gaye. There are multiple factors for that, but then one of those factors that maybe the patient experience was reasonable, it was not very good, it didn't actually force or it didn't actually provocate the patient to go back and complete the treatment. But then sometimes the patient got a treatment done but never came for another problem once more. The same reason, it was not actually a wow movement, or it has not provided them the enough of value. So what exactly is a wow? There are 10 elements. If you break down the wow or the value creation part, there are 10 elements. Not surely all 10 of them will occur together, but it has to be a combination of a few out of those 10 for the anyone, for the subject, for anyone, for the patient to shriek out wow. So number one is surprise. It again, it is under promise and over deliver moment. What you expected, your experiences are actually, say, exceeding those. Delight, amazement, and you're literally finding it awesome. So then the second thing is anticipation. You anticipate, as I said, the urge was there, you anticipated. Yes, colleagues have been there, I have read a lot about that part of India. It is God's own country. Yes, I need to go there. We anticipated. Now in this case, somebody referred you. He said, yes, the experience is very good, the doctor is very caring, the staff is equally caring, the ambience is good, the fragrance is good in the clinic, they don't make you wait, the treatment rendered is perfectly, they have no distractions, they treat only one at a time. Multiple factors. And all these, when these are conveyed to you by your referral or by the person who referred you to the dentist practice, thinking you are the layman in this case. So you will start believing as a patient, yes, if this is there, I'm going to have a good experience. That is the anticipation part. And then we start making a mental note of certain things, sometimes even before the first visit, sometimes after the first visit. मैंने डॉक्टर को ये बोल देना, आप ये कर लो, ये कर लो, ये कर लो. These are the things. Sometimes we actually start anticipating and building up the things in our mind. Then resonance, it touches something at a deeper level, and sometimes goosebumps, sometimes tears of joy, all these things. Then transcendence, heavenly experience. Suddenly you experience something meaningful, something divine, something having purpose. Yes, this was the place, this was the clinic I was searching for. I have been lucky, you all might have been so many a times. Patients utter out this line: डॉक्टर मेरे को बहुत तलाश थी अच्छे डॉक्टर की, मैं प्राउडली कह सकता हूँ कि मेरी तलाश आपके क्लिनिक पे आके खत्म हो गई. If the patient utters out this line, you know that you are successful. But then that does not end your duty. It actually increases your duty more to deliver to the patient every time. Then clarity. You start seeing the things clearly in a better way, and you may have been getting the same experience in a different mode in your older clinic as a patient, but now you're getting the same things. Obviously, it is the same dental chair. The design might be a little bit different. The color might be different. It is the same dental chair. It is the same two hands. It is the same skill level. We anticipate broadly, but the treatment experience might be totally different. Somebody might be having a rough hand while using an aerator. Somebody might be a delicate one. Some would actually move the patient's head like this. Some would gently just please move the head like this. Very, very small little things, but these do make a little bit of difference. But the patient experiences what they actually experience in the clinic. Then presence. It is actually about timelessness. You don't think about past, you don't think about future. You are actually happy to live in present, and you are enjoying the moment now to what is happening. Then universality. It is that everyone, if I have a wow experience, you will also have a wow experience, and all experience it in the same way, and you deliver it to everyone. Everyone who comes to your clinic gets satisfied, is the common takeaway point. Then evangelism usually is used in one other tone to promote Christianity, some say, but it is also used in a word where you say that you become an advocate of a particular service or place or facility or whatever. For example, one of my friends is a topmost evangelist, if I can say. He actually, if he goes to a new restaurant and he likes it, तू वहां जाके आ. It is a great way. He is also vegetarian like me. ये बहुत अच्छा वेज रेस्टोरेंट है. उसकी दाल मखनी ट्राई करना. Awesome, really awesome. Then he'll call me up after a couple of days. तू गया कि नहीं वहां पे? अरे जाके तो आ. अगेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्री कोविड टाइम्स. और जाके तो आ यार. ना अच्छा लगे तो मुझे बोलना. Some people actually start recommending those things unconditionally, and I really doubt that he's getting some commission out of that restaurant. Of course we are not. Most of the times we are so wowed by the service that we want to share it to our colleagues and friends, and we share it without any bias, and we are actually unpaid for that service. So we paid unpaid evangelists. So we want that. नहीं नहीं यार, अगर मेरे को अच्छी सर्विस मिली तो तेरे को भी जाना चाहिए. You go to SRS and a PVR in a city. यार SRS नहीं अच्छा, तू PVR में जाना. उसकी सीट्स बहुत कंफर्टेबल है, बड़ी हैं, खुली हैं. थोड़ी सी उनमें एड ज्यादा दिखाते हैं SRS से ज्यादा, बट है कि SRS का एसी उतना अच्छा नहीं. PVR का एसी ज्यादा अच्छा. This is the way you actually start promoting a service. You become an agent kind of a thing for a service. This is not exactly being an agent. It is like being an evangelist for that, an unpaid one, of course. Then longevity. This is one experience you are not afraid of it. As a dentist or as a patient, we know the patient fears the pain. Most of us, if we were going to any other colleague clinic as a patient, we'll be also having some hidden fear for our dental treatment. But then if the overall experience is painless and the patient actually enjoys coming to the clinic, not enjoy others otherwise, but enjoys that, yes, I'll be taken care of in a good way, he will not get tired of it. And this is what matters. The longevity does matter. Then the privilege. Yes, if I am associated with a good product or a service, you should also be. You are my friend, you are my relative, you are my known, you are my well wisher, so you should also be associated with this service. We feel privileged that we are associated with that elite group. Then we want to have that, all our close ones to have that experience. For example, Apple products. People who love Apple products or iPhones and i series, they want that सब रिश्तेदारों में, सब नोन में वही हो. of course, depending upon the affordability. But then this is the part of a wow service. So all these 10 elements, not together, not all of them will occur or happen in the same individual, but a combination of these two, these few, will result in a wow factor, and obviously that will create the value. That is what is important. So the first step is to recognize the wow when it shows up. When you actually get a above mediocre service which you have been used to getting. For example, you're going to some place and you're getting a service which you find okay, but if you get a better service than that, then you realize that yaar wo service mediocre thi, this is a better service. So automatically a wow comes out of your mouth. So then we need to again, when the benchmark is raised, are able to recognize it better. नहीं यार वो सर्विस अच्छी नहीं थी, दिस वन वाज गुड, पहले इन्होंने ये वाली सर्विस दी थी, अब ये भी मीडियोकर सर्विस पे आ गए हैं. This is the way continuation, sustainability. You offer a service once is not the end of the solution. You have to sustain it. And most of the times we actually are in a habit to settle for something less. And sometimes we actually rip off our staff also, who we believe that are capable of much more. उन्होंने अच्छे तरह नहीं पेशेंट को अटेंड किया. We always want that. So recognition is the first step. Angry patient वाला webinar जब मैंने लिया था, I told you recognition of the symptoms is very important. As a clinician, as a doctor, recognition of symptoms is very important. So unless or until you are a good judge in recognition, you will not be able to say be a master of your trade. Come it be your dental sciences, your dental treatment, your treatment plan, or the service parameter in your practice. So the patient satisfaction should be the topmost priority. So let me come to the another concept of wow factor. So we all want that the patient should go out of the way and tell the whole world and at least his known circle about you, that how you were so empathetic, how you were so perfect, how you were brilliant in your treatment rendering part, that you actually help the patient to get out of that service or get out of that difficult situation by your service, by your excellent service. But then that is the way you actually want. They also want that every one of their circle, their friend circle, their relatives should come to you so that they are also in trusted hands. Again, if they are well wishers. But then if we look at it in a different tone, the distance is wow to why. Understand the why, because the why will help you cultivate more of curiosity. Sometimes we lose a track of the small little things because we are so bogged down in our services, because we are so busy in our working lifestyle, we just fail to raise our hood or head, uh, like a snake or like a human, and recognize small little things around us which are happening. We need to look beyond our windows and see the forest and the trees is a common proverb. So because from the question that awe generates, we can find newer solutions. We have to see, always say, think like a patient, always understand the things like those parameters like a patient. Uh, if why should I give a wow? If I give that service, if I enhance the service standards of my clinic, that'll increase the patient's care and quality of life or quality of teeth in our case. And also, if the same things become a part of your system, you will actually, again, if it is a scripted and documented thing I mentioned in the last part one, if it is a documented thing, you will make it a part of your routine SOP. And when things become a part of your SOP, you do those things repeatedly. And once you do those things repeatedly, they become a habit. And once they become a habit, there will be less trained to do those things. You get trained mentally to do those things, and obviously, it will result in a lesser burnout for you. Remember, it is all chain process. It starts with a little bit of hard work, repetition, eat, sleep, exercise, repeat. Follow the Virat Kohli principle in this. So if you repeat certain things, it'll become part of my life. A few things like patient management, like consent part, like other small little things, I don't have to do specially. They are part of my system now. They are part of my life now, and everybody around me understands that these are things which are taken for granted, and a good service is taken for granted if it is by the patient and the dentist. It is a good thing for everyone. So wow and why will help us shake things up and actually delve us deeper, give us deeper insight into the problem. If you ask the patient about a wow, or sorry, a why, that why you didn't get this service before, or why you didn't get this treatment done before, you can be like a medical detective or a dental detective, and it'll actually have a greater engagement, and obviously it will translate to improved outcomes. डॉक्टर मैं तो गया था दान दिखाने के लिए, तो उन्होंने तो मेरे को बोला कि ये बच नहीं सकता, निकाल लो. Then you explain about the things, that how there are multiple options to save that tooth. Probably a partial extraction, maybe a hemisection, maybe restoring after that. So you open up newer vistas and avenues for the patient, even if it is a tooth which can be, which was advised as an extraction, but you still can save at least the half via hemisection. So when you open up the avenues for the patient will realize your potential, that yes, he has a better service potential than my earlier dentist. And actually is these things can lead to breakthroughs, कि अगर ये सर्विस अवेलेबल थी और ये ऑप्शन अवेलेबल थी, why didn't my older dentist tell me this option? Again, for this, we need to see the world beyond our bogginess, or being say embraced or totally deep down in our work. But then you need to understand that the learning process should continue. What we are doing early morning at 7 and 8 p.m. in the night, at least twice a week in the paid group, is for that very basic reason, that the learning should continue. It'll, I'm damn sure that what I am discussing, many of you must be knowing 80% of that. But it is not about that 80%. It is about that rephrasing of that 80% to you, and maybe adding a little bit of 20% to that, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But on an average, if I'm adding that and polishing the 80% that you already know, basically we are fine tuning our professional skills, because we have not been professionally taught these things. Many of us have embraced these skills via our experience, or through our experiences watching in other colleagues' clinic. So we also need to pay time to learn continually, to add to our knowledge and polish our skills. That is equally important. That is not important for you. That is important for me also. I hardly waste time in my practice, in my clinic, even at the time if somebody cancels up, or if I don't have a standby, or if I have lesser appointments in the day, as they are happening these days, courtesy the rise in the COVID, say, second wave. Obviously, yesterday was a lot busy day, but overall the OPDs are on decline since Monday onwards, and there are chances of a day lockdown as well in a couple of days. But yes, don't waste your time. Even that those times when you don't have patience, do a lot of reading, do a lot of learning, something meaningful. Don't waste your time on social media. uh, I always encourage social media to be used more for education. uh, Again, rest is a personal choice. So then sometimes the polishing of the skills will make us certain things that we have not been paying attention to in the past. Does wow then help us? Surely. Yes, it will. Because the wow and why a wow will help us also, our patients also, in the longer run. So, yes, it is a continuous process. The goal should always be to over deliver. And the ways to new ways can also be developed to enhance the patient experience, of course, along with the older things to be done in a different manner, the same things differently, as I said. So See, when we talk about the wow factor, that will include right from the scheduling of the patient, then the patient walking in, the ambience of the clinic should not be dirty, should not be flashy, of course, if you don't want, but it should be at least pleasant looking with a nice fragrance. Then the next thing would be the waiting time, should be minimal or almost zero. Then the staff care factor with the patient, then the doctor history taking or doctor discussion before the treatment starts, then the treatment parameters or protocols accordingly, then the post op instructions, and then the follow up. This is just a normal list of things which everyone should take care. And believe me, when you have a mental note of all these things and when you break them up slowly and steadily as per your setup, these are not fixed things. What I am doing might not be applicable to you. What someone else, what maybe the great Dr. Sandesh Maikar is doing might not be applicable to me. The tier of the city does matter, the class of the practice does matter, the target group patient group does matter, and obviously the patient's trust factor in you, the your longevity in practice, all these factors do matter. But what is important is that the list will broadly remain the same, the customization will only differ. Yes, maybe there may be subheadings, but then the whole list is the same. The problem is that we actually don't pay attention to such things, and these things become important to us in the longer run. So again, post-op instructions is one gray area in most of the clinics. Dentists don't do that. They delegate the staff to do that. Nothing wrong in it, but the staff should be well trained in that. If the staff is not well trained in that, or if you have a single staff that is handling your waiting, scheduling, instruction, changing the tray setup, and making the new patient walk in, remember it is too much on his plate. If you have two staff members, yes, you can equally delegate it, but then you scold the staff in front of the patient. तुम्हें नहीं पता ये सब करना होता है, पहले ये करना है. Remember, he was taking care of the old patient. आपने अपना काम जरूरत से ज्यादा delegate कर दिया. If he's preparing the chair or the, say, making the tray setup for the next patient to walk in, it is your duty to do the post-operative instructions. Again, presuming you have one assistant. So you need to break down as per a human's ability. Don't expect your staff to be robots. So these things do matter. So what is the Tao of the Wow? You'll ask what is Tao? Tao is actually a religion-based thing which says the epitome, or the one aspect which says that is the key principle which holds good. So think of a scenario where you actually took an appointment 2 months or 1 month in advance, and you had to still wait for 1 hour for your appointment or for your turn. Won't you feel bad? Most of the bad patient experience occur because of the poor systems in place. Not that the individuals are bad or wrong. I mean to say the doctors or the staff, they are not wrong, but the systems are in place. डॉक्टर काम अच्छा करता है, बोलता अच्छा, उसका स्टाफ भी अच्छा है, क्योंकि सिस्टम नहीं है काम करने का. एक आ रहा है, एक जा रहा है, जो जा रहा है उसको समझा नहीं रहे हैं. काम अच्छा करते हैं. The plus comes with a lot of negatives. You need to understand that the SOPs or the systems are at fault. Then the flip side is that it is all easy to recover. So what is the Tao of the Wow? The epitome is the branding, and it all starts from there. So branding, how? How to build brand awareness among colleagues? See, again, understand the holistic picture. You have a clinic, it is running well, you're offering good service, you treat more number of patients, and the word spreads even faster. For example, you have 100 followers on your Instagram or your FB. You put out a post, that post goes out to 100, maybe those 100 tell to 400, 4 people, 400 more, for example, presuming everyone does. Usually this does not happen, but if you check it as a linear equation, If you have 1,000 followers, and if they tell even two people, which is realistic, presuming 1,000 saw that, but the sometimes the logistics of the Facebook don't let every one of those see those the post. But then presuming that thing, even if you have 1,000 followers and all of them see the post and tell it to two people, you have still 1,000 plus 2,000, 3,000 people. When 100 told, they told four people, double, but still the reach was 500. Now the reach is 3,000. So what is the bottom line? To have more number of patients. So to build a brand, to build a good service, to provide a wow, you need to first start from the basic. The basics is more number of patients. And for that, you have to work hard. The first few steps. The key is always to get first 10 happy, satisfied patients, especially those who are actually new in practice or maybe a couple of years in practice. The key is first 10, 20, 50, and then 100 satisfied patients. ये 10 से 20 से 50 से 100 की जर्नी इज डिफिकल्ट, बट 100 to 200, 200 to 500, and 500 to 1000 does not take time. I can assure you one thing: once you have 1,000 happy and satisfied patients, and if you maintain the same service protocol, trust me, आपकी pension लग गई in your practice. Not realistically, but metamorphically. That means you will have patients coming up through your referrals. So that is the thing. The key is still there. Many people, what they do is they have less patients. They try to overtly go out of the way, do too many things to impress them. Nothing wrong. But when the same number of patients, they have built up a mental benchmark in that regard to the patient. When their OPD increases, obviously they are doing good work that will spread slowly but steadily, coupled with advertising or marketing, their OPD will increase. Once that OPD increase, they will not be able to do so many things that they have been doing in the past. So naturally, those things will come down. The patient's mind will say, ये पहले अच्छा करते थे, अब उतना time नहीं देते हैं. Remember those things as well. There are flip sides of every service as well. So do a service parameter or a parameter that you can actually go through or follow throughout the pattern. It should increase only, and that should be sustained. It should not be that you first keep a benchmark of a 10th floor and then you come down to the 5th floor because you have more number of patients to attend in the day. So this is also the key. And once you have good amount of patients, minimum 1,000 satisfied patients, and trust me, that will take 5 to 7 years. Building up or having 1,000 successful, happy, satisfied patients will take about 5 to 7 years in an average practice. If you can get it in a lesser amount of time, nothing wrong. I'm not talking about 1,000 OPD, I'm talking of 1,000 happy and satisfied patients. So once you have done that, I always say a few years of good practice, money will become a byproduct. You do good work, money will automatically follow without you having to bother. Where will the next buck come from? अगले महीने की ओपीडी है, अगले अगले महीने ईएमआई ड्यू है, अगले महीने तो लॉकडाउन लग जाना, मेरी ओपीडी कहाँ से आएगी? Everything will come back to you itself. In this phase of my career, I'm into 22nd year of my practice. I really don't have to bother about such things because I know even if I am free for 24 days of a month, I will actually get the remainder in the 6 days. Our profession has so much great potential. We just need to believe in ourselves and our say the good wishes given to us by the God Almighty, who is with us. And for this parameters, I have a proverb also I've shared with you many times. Sometimes we are too interested in the current proceedings rather than the whole process. We just immediately want more money and we are not bothered about the patient satisfaction thing. And that is where the big flaw lies. Once you start becoming interested, once you are interested in the process, money will automatically follow. This is the thing, money will become a byproduct. So marketing is a collection of everything. There is no one method that will get you good results if you look at just the advertising part. But to show your internal hospitality or services that you offer a wow or offer a value creation, start from the basics. Patients will still have to be pulled in. Promotion and marketing becomes a must, especially for the beginners. Without that, no business can grow and thrive in today's times. The thing is that most of the times the word of mouth, the still good old word of mouth, will take about 3 to 5 years to actually say make your practice reach a great stage. Yes, a few can reach early, but if you can be reaching those stages in 3 to 5 years, it is perfectly normal. But then youngsters who are actually starting off their clinics with a lot of investment these days, they don't have this much amount of patience. Patience is a gifted virtue needed, especially for the dentist. Again, my quote. But then many of us lack. If not in personal, we lack in professional life. There are hardly same individuals who actually have patience both in personal and professional. So the reason is that even if you have a good marketing plan, the patients are walking in, you do not provide consistent clinical experience. And that is where the problem lies. And the problem is not here. We need to understand that certain times the patients will actually walk in courtesy than marketing part, advertising part. But then that is where the marketing and advertising ceases to act. What it does is actually stops the same things over there. And from there on, your internal marketing will take over. And once your internal marketing takes over, trust me, there your service paradigm starts. If you are not offering good service, it will not yield good results. And again, the key is to deliver always more than what you promise. So there can be various ways and means to improve your customer experience strategy or the patient experience strategy. Let's look a few of them. The 80-20 secret. The Pareto's principle will actually fail to leave you. But then I always say 80% will be your basic skills, the dentistry skills. The rest, all factors, internal marketing, external marketing, will form 20%. So I'm going to tell you that 20% only. I can tell you about the 80% part because that is your own skill. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit of 80% in the next few steps. What is internal marketing's role in brand creation? And once a brand is created, the wow factor automatically comes in if you are really true to your profession. So, what are the 11 secrets to success in clinic in terms of brand creation, in terms of internal marketing? Polite staff. Remember, these are not only the secrets to success, but these are the secrets for brand creation and the secrets for value creation and the secrets for wow factor also. The staff, if it is polite, surely is an asset to anyone's clinic, especially if how the staff behaves in your absence. Then zero or absolutely short waiting time. Enough has been said and done about it, but a waiting time is a great tool which we need to realize that cannot be underestimated in anyone's practice. And people do value actually their time a lot these days. And I've told you, many patients tell me this thing multiple times, that we come to you because you don't make us wait. This is one of the great internal marketing factors. Then comfortable reception area. I mentioned many times the reception area may be decent enough. It should be devoid of any sort of dust. It should be devoid of any sort of, say, spider webs. It should be devoid of any kind of things which can be distracting to the patient. The blind should not be, say, torn or rest format. The curtains should not be dirty. The corners should not be having dust. These are small little things which do matter. And when we talk of the value creation, all these things will play a combined role. Just like I mentioned, the 10 factors in wow creation, there are certain things which will actually work in unison, not only individual parts. Then stable and standard fee structure for everyone, good location, flexible office hours, even especially for the beginners, close parking, flexible payment options, listening skills. Told many times about it. You need to have a good space between your ears. Then proper discussion of risks and benefits, the consent part, and free follow up, especially of your star patients or your brand ambassador patients. The reverse or the flip side is usually bad. What it is? Your staff is rude, polite, may or may not give you brownie points, but a rude will surely fetch you negative marks. Long waiting times, in spite of taking the appointment, I still have to wait. Is there any mistake with me or you? Uncomfortable reception area, mentioned about it. Those should not be their points. Then confusing fee structure. I believe it should be same for everyone, but again, people have different fee structure for NRIs. They charge differently for different reasons. It is a personal choice. I charge the same from every patient. Poor location, sometimes you don't have a control over it, but yes, it is a factor. Limited office hours, especially in sync with your target population group. There are places like Jammu, there are places like Kalyan, which actually start a good practice from 5 p.m. onwards, and they work till 12 p.m. or in the 12 a.m. in the night. In Jammu, I gave an example. I went to a colleague once, and I had had a lecture over there. After the lecture, I went to meet him. His residence was on the first floor only, and the clinic was on ground floor. At 9:30 or 9:15, I went and he said, "डॉक्टर साहब अभी ऊपर गए हैं खाना खाने अभी आएंगे." आज लेट तक काम कर रहे हो? नहीं नहीं, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले स्टार्ट किया हमने तो, अभी रश होता है हमारे पास. हाउ व्हाट टाइम डू यू वर्क? 2 बजे 3 बजे तक इन द नाइट. पर्सनल चॉइस. Distant parking, again, sometimes no control over it. Inflexible payment options, this is the thing, we take only cash. This approach really needs to be shunned away. Poor listening skills can be a deterrent. If the patient has a problem that you did not listen to the patient's problem. Then inadequate discussion of risks and benefits without giving proper options to the patient, and no follow up or nominal follow up. So all these factors will make an impact on the value creation. But then before that, the basics part, how to make your dental practice grow. You can show these factors only once you have a good OPD. So what is the principle? What is the, say, insight to that? The four basic principles are footfall, conversion, upgradation, and retention. Footfall means getting new patients inside your clinic, can be done with a combination of word of mouth, your camps, your social marketing, social media marketing, or any other kind of paid advertisement. Conversion, actually making the patients do the treatment. Upgradation, already patients on PFM, they are loyal now. You want to shift them to Zirconia, for example. Then retention, mainly for your old patients or happy patients that exist. So Vince Lombardi once said it takes months to find a customer, but a few seconds only to lose one. So how to increase your case acceptance rate, which will actually lead to more patients or more number of patients getting treatment done from you by adding value to your practice. See, there are a few situations if you try to understand. I'll give you many things in the end and the summary and the carry home part as well. A patient who has walked in sometimes will not get a treatment done. He'll make a judgment of getting a treatment done from you via a few factors: how your staff behaves, how much was the waiting time, how clean is your reception area, how did the doctor talk, how did he listen to your complaint, what was his consultation, was his consultation verifiable, all those things. you actually might not get to show your treatment skills, which you might be having excellent and in abundance. Sometimes your theory, your treatment part is cut short at the first point only. And that is why we say the ideal accepted ratio is 7.2 out of 10, 72 out of 100. A minimum possible, a minimum acceptable is 6. Uh, Barely or say borderline is 4.5 or 4.4. Anything beyond that is really beyond lesser than that is bad. But if you are doing more than 7.2, you are doing excellent. So remember, the value to practice can sometimes be added in those factors that I mentioned in the 11 secrets as well. Because those things, majority of them will happen before the actual treatment begins. So the value creation has to be in those things as well, not only in your treatment protocols. We try to better only the treatment part. Yes, nothing wrong in it. You need to do that as well, but not bettering only the treatment part is the key. You need to better out the other factors as well in your practice. So be a purple cow. We all know cow comes in white, black, orange, whatever colors, but there is nothing called a purple cow. Purple and pink are girls' favorite colors, and they are basically standout colors. 10 लोग दूर से खड़े हो, pink and purple get stand out. It gets recognized fast. So, what is your mission? Tell the world. Stand out, create a purple cow, differentiate yourself. Differentiation is one of the important keys to value creation. You see WhatsApp groups. There are so many ads on FB, videos, paid ads, YouTube. They'll pop up even while watching TV, while surfing the net, or having an evening meal. They are everywhere. Trust me, WhatsApp groups में education के नाम पे ad ज़्यादा होती है. That is why my first principle when I started these groups was it is strictly a no advertisement groups. Even my own paid lectures till last year, obviously this year there were none. Paid lectures are not marketed even in my own groups. People call me a fool. You have so much of database, you have so many people, 1400 people in your 6 groups, and you're still not marketing. I don't need to. I don't need to. This is a matter of principle and ethics. It is not a matter of just making a quick buck. So success is a long road in a desert, and we have to travel sometimes a lot looking for an oasis. So many times patients will try to bargain and compare the rates with neighboring dental clinics. And if you don't drop the rates, then the patient leaves the clinic without treatment, as the treatment charges, your treatment charges might be fixed. So we lose some of our patients. Does it happen to you as well? Yes, it does to majority of the clinics. People will ask you in detail, they will ask you for the estimate, and without other things, मेरे लिए क्या रेट है, मेरे को क्या मान करोगे, मेरे लिए क्या डिस्काउंट करोगे, मेरे लिए क्या है. Even if the patient is not a special one to you, even if the patient is a new one, or even if the patient is a walking referral, यहीं पे actually we fall prey. We try to succumb to those policies where we don't stick to our own set rules and principles. If we said that the charges are fixed for everyone, we need to stay to that. If the patient has come to you picking out from a referral, he or she will not budge down for a price reduction or not. If somebody's estimate is 20,000, even if you offer a 10%, 18,000, it hardly will matter. Who can spend 18, he can spend 20 also. इतना नहीं होता, कोई लाखों का बजट नहीं है कि आपका 10 लाख का बजट है उसके बाद सिर्फ 5 लाख है. That is a huge window to say match. But why do we need to resort to a price reduction statistic in such a case or a tactic? The answer from patient side is prioritization. Patients believe that one dentist is as good as another. अगर एरिया में 10 डेंटिस्ट हैं तो anybody can get a scaling or a say filling or a crown from any clinic in the area. What is your X factor? What is your differentiation? You need to differentiate. And no one of us can actually say that we are the only ones practicing in our area. We are multiple in number in each areas. So think about it. What makes your clinic different from dentists in your area? What sets you apart from them? Why should patients select you as their primary dentist? Because you offer good service or you offer a X factor. So unless you are the red apple out of these green apples or you stand out like a purple cow, people will not pick you up as their valued dentist, and you can't hold ground for long in your practice. So how you make your practice different from the lot or from other dentists? By differentiators. And these differentiators are the one that add value to our practice, and they create a wow in patient satisfaction as well. It started from making the patients go come through your door, by making your practice grow, increasing the footfall, and ending up with patient satisfaction, creating a wow. The journey is via differentiators and, of course, along with the basic treatment skill. It does not differ from there. So, differentiation basically differentiates you from the crowd. They are, by definition, those things which make your clinic, facilities, or services different. What can those be? A few of them I can give you. Your credentials, maybe your staff members, comfortable reception areas with all facilities if your space allows, latest gadgets with latest technology if your budget allows, of course, not only for the former approach or not only for show off, easy accessibility, good location if it is falling in your pocket, enough parking space if your location allows, excellent customer service. Yes, friendly behavior is a must, and comprehensive treatment plans and options. Your dental skills will come to the fore over here. If you are actually a master of your trade, I always say there are no tips and tricks in the trade. It is, I may mention sometimes tips and tricks, but I always believe for you, you have to master your trade. You have to know your trade and not say I know the tips and tricks to my trade. There are differences in that. Then a range of services which you're offering in your practice, multiple treatment wise, free Wi-Fi for the patients. I gave you an example last in the part one as well, that I went to Bhopal once for a lecture 5 6 years back. So somebody asked me after these list of differentiators. This is a part of my, a few slides are part of my differentiation factor as well. So he said, I am offering free Wi-Fi. I still don't have much of patients. So as I said, these don't work singularly. They work in unison or a combination of these. Of course, a family-friendly environment and a cheerful and a helpful staff. Convenient working hours, all those 11 secrets to success put in different words and formats. Great, say, verbal relationship with your patients. Your range of flexible payment options through various modes. Cash only approach should be shunned away. Then your ability to understand problems, treatment, home care, and guiding the patient about the same. So, if I talk about my differentiator, there are so many speakers on practice time, and many might be much better than me. There are so many speakers on finance. CAs are a perfect example. They might be actually better than me in those regards. But then, what differentiates me? That I am maybe the only one who's offering practice management, medical legal, and finance in combination. And I understand the correlation between the three better than the most. And I know the trade of these or the art of these better than that. So this is my differentiator. I might be singularly less, but when talking as a combination, I might be a better one. Just to talk in, not to boast of anything, but just to give an example in such regard. So can quality be a differentiator? Yes, it is, because we all know there are so many products being offered in the similar range. We all know Baba Ramdev's toothpaste Dantkanti is famous. What is its differentiator? Natural quality ingredients. That is the one line they speak. And sometimes quality can be a powerful differentiator. And similarly, the differentiator can be your USP as well. What is your USP? What you do best from other practices? And the thing is, you need to understand your target group and convey the same. You can you can go on summarizing your patient's problem, challenges, needs and fears, but what you need to know is that whether your target population needs an abundance of your skills or not. And because once you do that, it will lead to brand creation. And once a brand is created, you'll be synonymous with it. And once a brand is there, it stands for value also. नाम है उनका, काम है उनका. That is the words that might be used for you if you offer good services. A toothpaste is a great example. We all know there are so many of Colgates available. Colgate Calcilock, regular Colgate, Colgate Total, Colgate Max Fresh, Colgate Whitening, and whatnot. They come for in the package of Colgate Chota Beam, Colgate Barbie, and all those things as well for the kids market. This is nothing but a differentiation in packaging, merchandising, and branding. The whole aim is to capture the total target market. We target the kids also, we target the youth also, we target the old age also, we target the uh, uh, the youngsters also. So these are the few things that actually lead to creation of your brand and cause a differentiation. So branding will improve overall image, but the best would come through consistent work and your word of mouth publicity. And active publicity, again, for beginners, I always suggest social media and your website. But quality work is your basic need, but other things, your differentiators will add a feather to your cap. So branding is nothing but a sophisticated word for marketing your clinic and practice, because the brand has a good value in recall of the patients. And didn't I tell you the fourth factor in making your practice grow? Retention of your old patients. The retention will only be there if they actually have a recall value. So branding means you exist in the patient's mind whenever they need the service, or when somebody in their close group needs a service, and the patient in those cases becomes an evangelist. He becomes your advocate. He pushes the patient to his known reference to your clinic. And this is the baseline of every practice: hard work, quality work, consistent work. So I hope you are not bored. So coming to the end of the presentation, I hope I have not been boring enough for you. Only if I could stop the camera from shaking so much. So what is the summary for today? So there, the strategies to improve patient-centered care. We need to understand those things pretty much clearly. The patient care is the top-notch priority, and it should be. What are the things we can do to improve patient care? Diagnosis of the problem, the access to the dentist, the two-way communication, that is a must. Right treatment option, right suggested treatment plan, which should be verifiable as well if the patient wants to go in for a second or a third opinion. So then offering effective treatment plans, then post-operative instructions. These are the ways to actually improve patient care services. So what are the ways to improve staff productivity? There are quite a few of them. So you can create a good congenial atmosphere for your staff. They understand their responsibilities, they are accountable to you. You can conduct a satisfaction surveys, especially if you're having multiple staff. You can motivate non-performers to improve their performance, and you can reward best performers. So then we all have a situation where we have to deal with angry patients as well. So this is the strategy to deal. Sorry, the slide, this one has to be first, but never mind. So I told you in the start why was a session delay happened. We were supposed to take a session on Thursday morning. What happened? I'll be sharing, of course, with the names not shared. I slept on Wednesday night pretty much early, planning to get up on Thursday morning at 4 o'clock. Normally, I get up at 4:30 in these days, but I plan to get up at 4 so that I can go through my presentation once, make the last minute changes, or maybe some add some images. Usually, I add images once I go through the text fully. So I do that. Uh, A group 2 member, free group 2 member, never interacted with her in the past. Yes, it was a she. Called me up at 11:10. My phone is always on. I never keep it on silent mode because she is a group member, so the number was saved, so I knew who was calling. I could have skipped the call, but actually it woke me up from my slumber. When I picked up the call, she said, uh, आपको बहुत अर्जेंट था, मेरे को पूछना था. I thought there might be some other problem. I said, go on, I'm all ears. Since I picked up the call, I'm ready to listen to you. So she said, मेरे को एक पेशेंट बहुत गलत बोल के गया है, मैं बहुत टेंशन में हूँ. तो क्या हुआ? पेशेंट ने मुझे धमकी दिया कि मेरा सारा ट्रीटमेंट करो. व्हाट इज द होल स्टोरी, जस्ट टेल मी इन ब्रीफ अबाउट इट. सेड पेशेंट ने मेरे से एक रूट कनाल करवाया, उसका मैं ट्रीटमेंट 2-3 बारी फ्री में भी कर चुकी हूँ. क्या कर चुके हो आप? रूट कनाल फ्री में किया, 1-2 फिलिंग भी फ्री में कर दिया. व्हाट इज द अमाउंट ही इज पेड? सर याद नहीं है, पर 1500 या 2000 दिया होगा. आई सेड, यू डोंट रिमेंबर एंड यू स्टिल डूइंग फ्री. एनीवेज, 1500 या 2000 दिया होगा. वो मेरे को जाते जाते धमकी दे के गया है. मैं अभी घर भी नहीं गई हूँ, मैं अभी भी क्लिनिक में हूँ. कहते, टेल मी फर्स्ट थिंग, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग एट 11:10 इन योर क्लिनिक? सर आज थोड़ा लेट हो गई, मैं 10:30 बंद कर देती हूँ. आई यू सिंगल फीमेल? यस सर. वाई यू वर्किंग टिल दिस लेट नाइट? आई डोंट नो द लोकेशन, आई डेंट इवन आस्क विच सिटी आर यू फ्रॉम. सो पेशेंट मुझे धमकी दे के गया. मेरे को सर बहुत टेंशन हो गया, मैंने कभी जिंदगी में ऐसी चीज़ें सुनी नहीं है. व्हाट डिड ही से? बोला मैं आपकी कंप्लेंट कर दूंगा. सर मेरे को इन चक्करों में नहीं पड़ना है. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दैट? सर मेरे को पुलिस स्टेशन से बहुत नफरत है, क्योंकि बाकी डेंटिस्ट कौन सा पुलिस स्टेशन आते जाते रहते हैं डेली. वाई यू बॉदर्ड? नहीं सर, मैंने जिंदगी में कभी चीज़ देखी नहीं है. किसी ने नहीं देखी होती यूजली. नोबडी एक्चुअली बॉदर्स अबाउट इट, बट वाई आर यू एक्चुअली वरिड अबाउट इट? नहीं नहीं सर, मेरे को बहुत टेंशन है, मेरे को तो अभी भूख भी लगी, भूख भी नहीं लगी हुई थी, वो भी मेरी मर गई भूख. पहली चीज़ तो है कि अपने क्लिनिक का टाइम चेंज करो. दूसरी चीज़ है कि काइंडली प्लीज मैसेज मी बिफोर कॉलिंग. योर डे माइट बी स्टिल लॉन्ग. माई डे ऑलरेडी फिनिश्ड एट 9. I was slept at 9:30. I have a session in the morning. And trust me, after that call, maybe try to soothe her a bit by maybe 2 or 3 more things for the next 5 minutes or so. I lost my sleep and I could not sleep almost till 2:15 or 2:30. And my body clock made me wake up not at 4:30 but at 5 o'clock. That is the time when I kept myself awake till 5:30, added a bit of images. My presentation was still complete 24 hours back, but I still didn't feel 100%. I was not properly, not having had proper sleep. I was not fully awake from inside. Physically, I was awake because of my body clock, which is adjusted to this time. But I was not in 100% mode. So that is the reason I postponed the session. I normally don't do things when I don't feel comfortable. So just to give an example, not exactly of why I delayed it, but because we all come across angry patients. One pertinent question that I asked that girl was, I wouldn't say even lady, I don't know even the age. Uh, and trust me, there was not even a single text message shared in the past 2 years or whenever, whichever the time she is there in that group. So, did you take the consent? सर मैं कंसेंट लेना तो भूल ही गई. मैंने एक क्वेश्चन जरूर पूछा, आपने कभी ग्रुप खोला है? सर बहुत सारे मैसेजेस होते हैं, कहाँ से पढ़े जाते हैं? And trust me, this is the story of 90% of our group members. They don't open up the group. And at times I feel my effort is going totally waste. Sometimes even I want to give up. That what for? For those 10% people I am actually taking these sessions, I really don't want to sometimes. But then I don't know what makes me come back and take these again. It takes a lot. Those of you who make slides, those of you who deliver lectures must be knowing how difficult it is to make even one presentation. And sometimes I take 4 in a week. And apart from my 8 to 9 hour of clinic, apart from my family, the only good part is that my clinic and residents are at home. So I'm able to devote a little bit of better time. I I'm able to divert my body clock in a way that when the whole world is asleep, I am up, so that I can do that. Again, I was, even if my presentation was ready, I my alarm was today at 4 o'clock. But then at 3:45, thunderstorm started in my town. There was a power cut. So I went on, powered on the generator, and I was 3:50, 3:55 with my cup of tea. I was back at my computer. Not to catch that 15 minutes of extra sleep, because that 15 minutes it easily translates into 1 hour or 1.5 hour. And that is that thing happens with me. Yes, I readied the evening presentation, which is almost ready. Added images and all those in the evening loan presentation part. Just checked the streaming part as well. Did my breakfast, and I was ready. Still, the power is not restored. I'm still on generator. But yes, the whole bottom line is the session delay was because of a angry patient. That girl was fearful of what was happening in the clinic. The patient, सर क्या हो सकता है, क्या कर सकता है वो पेशेंट? वो मेरे को जाके मेरे खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करेगा तो क्या मेरे को पुलिस पकड़ के ले जाएगी? This was the question she asked me. Out of innocence, out of stupidity, out of ignorance, what reason I don't know. But definitely, surely she spoiled my whole Wednesday or my Thursday. Surely, because my day was a lot busy. Many of the cases were on completion yesterday. I had my appointment with my surgeon. Those of you, I am undergoing treatment for radicular cyst in the past 9 months. It was a procedure yesterday also. Usually it happens on Wednesday, but even that was intended on Thursday. So all those things got muddled up, and actually the body clock was hindered a lot. I couldn't catch up much sleep in the afternoon as well, but these things happen. So one angry patient can actually spoil your whole day. It spoiled that female's day and it spoiled my day as well. So sometimes it is a daunting task to deal with such patients, and the multiple reasons can be there. It can be a delay in appointment, a long waiting time, wrong diagnosis, lack of quality care. So you can't ignore such situations. So we should know how to deal with them. Luckily, I've taken a session or a webinar on dealing with angry patient a long time back. It is already there on YouTube, so you can deal with that. But yes, even that is important. Again, the keyword in that was also like a wow. You recognize a warning sign of the angry patient as well. Remember, one angry patient walking into your practice, he or she will actually trouble or say destroy your reputation in front of the other one sitting in the waiting. So जो उनके मन में आपका वाव क्रिएट हुआ भी है, that will turn into fakeness. उनके दिमाग में यही आएगा, नहीं, ये जो हमारे को कर रहा है दिखावा है, असली में ये है. Because negativity spreads faster, we all know that. So I told you about strategies to deal with angry patients. You can watch the whole session. It was a great session, of course, taken in combination with a co-speaker as well. So how to deal? Just to give you a summary, take a deep breath, try to remain calm, ask the patient all the details, treatment part, spend the time with them to find out the reason behind their outburst, show empathy and an approach to resolve their issues. Do not have a urge to argue always. You will end up actually in a dirty or a muddy situation with that. And of course, you should be legally protected via your professional indemnity. So then patient retention strategies, we all know those are equally important. So what can you do to improve patient retention? A comfortable and inviting atmosphere. Yes, inform them in advance about the treatment procedure. The transparency should be there. Under promise, over deliver. Always deliver your best. Take a feedback and do the I&E part. Educate and inform. Inform and educate. And the thing is that patient experience pyramid has to be achieved. That is how you get the value. So implement a centralized information system that can streamline your whole process. Either it is registration part, appointment scheduling, generating your bills, or your reminders. That should all be centralized. They should be all be delegated properly. That who is accountable for which kind of a duty. Then deliver a personalized care. Some people do have associates. They like to delegate work, but remember, you need to delegate only that much you can handle. or that much your patients can handle. If your patients have chosen you because of your name, they will not want the work to be done by an associate. Some will be vocal about it, some will not be vocal about it. Remember to understand the difference between the two. So reach out to your patients and engage with them on different channels. Collect feedback from the patients, which is always very important, and how the patient perceive the quality of the care. Discuss with your third eye, Shivji ka netra, as I say, staff. This help you employ more of quality measures. So I hope you are not sleepy like me. I was yesterday. So let me give you the carry home gyan for the part two. So one of the biggest challenges is to improve and sustain. Some of us improve but are not able to sustain for longer period. Consistency will always be the key in any matter, in any process in your practice. It can all lead to patient experience, an improved one, an enhanced one. And that is the reason the patient satisfaction is a topmost priority. And as I said, it is a proxy indicator most of the times, because there are no matrices to or indices to measure patient satisfaction. So it is a proxy indicator in that sense. So how we go above and beyond to create a wow are important. Small but significant actions can make a big difference in your patient's perception of encounter with the dentist. So choose one new thing to implement each month. If you are very consistent or very regular or very dedicated, you can do even once every 15 days as well. But then, if you are improving on that thing consistently or sustain over those things with the continuity. So, according to a survey, 60, I'll give you four studies. 65% of the patients believe that transparency about health services cost, which we sometimes don't resort to, is very important. People don't deal with the cost part in detail at the start, just because of the fear of losing patient. Then another study says staff engagement and staff care are responsible both for enhancing the patient care. Then one more study says 43% of patients say waiting time is the most frustrating part of visiting the doctor. 43% is a huge number. Then, according to studies, 73% of the patients want to be asked for a feedback within a few minutes to a few hours after they receive the care. 73 means three-fourth, and we hardly take a feedback. So, if you look at the numbers, all of them 65, 43, 73, these are not minuscule numbers. These are not small percentages. These are all almost close to half, one third, or two-third, or three-fourth, close to that. So remember the journey and the distance between the why and the wow, or the wow and the why. Remember the tau of the wow, and the bottom line is always to have more money, of course. If we are doing our business of dentistry, we want more money. But then that route is through satisfied patients. Number of patients उतने important नहीं होते हैं. Because satisfied patients जितने होंगे, it is more easier for you to adjust. Because remember the conversion principles. If you have an old, satisfied, retained patient, you will not need to do you will not need to repeat certain things which they already know. They know your system of working, they know the consent part signing, they know the record keeping part, they know its importance, which has been done since time immemorial. So you can easily skip those. So that is the reason, skip those of course, or maybe with a small mention. So that is the reason old, satisfied, and retained patients are more important. Of course, newer patients are important as well, but then old satisfied patients will give you a referral, and those referral will have 50% of those things already covered. So they know it कि हाँ आप उन्होंने बताया था आपके क्लिनिक में ऐसे चलता है. Because if the patient is your evangelist, he will actually force the guy to come to you and giving a complete note of the instructions, that this is going to there, this is going to be the way, do this, and before you go. And this is the way the patients are who are coming through referrals are actually prepared. And that is why I say make sure that you ask for the patient source of referral. And so patient source of referral is actually important in such cases. So if you have good feedback from such old, satisfied, and retained patients, use them. Use those feedbacks. If you have worked hard to earn those positive words, why not make it reach more potential patients? And because in those feedback, sometimes a word would be seen about your services. Yes, they make sure that they don't make us wait. Yes, their working system is perfect. Yes, their billing system is perfect. Yes, their documentation is perfect. Yes, their history taking is perfect. Whatever the multiple feedbacks, when some say interested patients are reading them, they will actually find that yes, this thing is taken care of. And if you're not using or taking a feedback or not using those testimonials, we're actually leaving a lot of opportunities on the table. And it all starts from one call the patient makes to schedule. And sometimes that can overall improve patient experience, increase the patient numbers, increases your reputation as well, makes handling of the difficult situations pretty easy, and reinforces your brand value. So I hope, yes, the presentation a little was overshot because of the recap part, but thank you so much for your patient hearing. So this is my YouTube channel link. If you forget it, mm, you can search Dr. Bhavdeep Oja on YouTube. Just got a notification for a video about the cancellation of appointments, how to deal with that. That video is already there online today. You can catch hold of that and post your feedback. This is a slide which is very fearful to me now. मैं नंबर यहाँ पे छुपा दूँ अपना के लगा दूँ, I don't know. तो बड़ा dangerous काम हो गया है. I lost a day already because of that, but then never mind. So social media presence all by my name, Dr. Bhavdeep, except my page, which is by Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. So please do provide me feedback. You already seen in the previous few presentations on practice management in the paid group what exactly the value of feedback is. So bookies and brickbats both welcome in equal measure. So thank you. Post it in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, and I stop my screen for any kind of queries if there are. Yes, any queries? All sleeping or all awake or all getting ready with their Zoom meeting on? Raghu on a holiday today?
Yes, sir. I taken off, sir.
Great. So you going to the lab today? Today is Friday.
Yes, sir. I'm going
Really?
today, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
That was a wow presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Your efforts cannot be thanked enough, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. The only aim was to put across the value creation part in a way that actually everybody understands it well. My background.
Sometimes for some patients, we feel like giving a discount. We feel like they deserve it, but they don't ask for it.
Then
How
don't
do
give it.
don't give it, sir?
Don't give it.
Okay.
Why cut into your profits? Money cannot be a substitute for a loyalty, especially to the patients. Always give back in kind, never give back in cash. You can say we discussed it in one of the previous webinars. Rajat also explained it. You can give a carry home hamper kind of a thing, or a, say any oral hygiene kit kind of a thing, which you feel is your patient's right for his loyalty, but never give a cashback, because again the patient doesn't choose you for your prices.
Yes.
If he has chosen you for your services, you need to give back in the kind mode only, not in the cash mode. Surely.
I had my clinic patient visiting to my college yesterday, sir. Sometimes when I feel he really deserves it because he has not got it done because he couldn't make that payment. He's an auto driver. He parks near my clinic only. The auto stand is just opposite to my clinic. So I there I helped him as much as possible because I could recognize him in the college. But I felt like maybe I could have treated him in my clinic with the discount.
That is a personal thing. Doing some kind of charity is always welcome. It is never deniable. But to do it to a known patient just to show your concern or your say thankfulness, cash is never there. Say again, that is my opinion. People do differ, but doing it to a poor patient is not a kind of say thankfulness. It is kind of a charity. And again, this is your clinic. You are free to do anything. You can treat even treat those kind of patients even for free. It is a personal choice, so nothing wrong in it.
I get this problem, sir. Sometimes I get to see my patients whom I had explained all the treatment protocols. They get all the treatment done in some other place.
No one, no problem, no problem. Just look out for the reasons why they didn't convert. Look at the minute ways. Look at just dissect the reasons that why the patient didn't get converted. So you'll automatically get the answer. Just find, say, break down your conversation. What happened exactly? Take the help of your staff. That will actually help you throw a light on that. Okay, thank you, Dr. Divya. Thank you, Dr. Parul. Thank you, Dr. Harshada. Thank you, Anupama ma'am. Viral sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna. Yes, Dr. Madhavi. Hello, sir. How can we do value creation in COVID times to get differentiated from each other? COVID times, we are lucky that we have a lot of parameters. The screening of the patient, making the patient actually help to segregate between the pre-COVID and the post-COVID time, or during COVID times. Of course, it is not the post-COVID yet. What you were doing before, how you are actually handling the situation, what you are offering as a protection to the patient. Because in the COVID times, the biggest differentiator is the safety of the patient. Every patient would want a certain level of safety accorded while he or she is in the clinic, considering that your clinic is safe, and you actually are not compromising on any kind of those protocols, which are doing the same protocols which you were doing before. There is nothing differentiating from that. So what your protocols are actually, along with your, say, screening part and your waiting area part, which should be devoid of patients. There should be a good amount of gap between your two appointments. This automatically is a big differentiator in today's times. So your working protocol has to be different. Yes, we all are following precautions, but all of them should be visible to the patient, because in today's times, cost is not the criteria to most of the patients. It is the safety that is more important, and make sure that you deliver the safety and the same is visible to the patient as well. I hope you get the answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any more queries, or we call it a day? Okay, then thank you. See you in the evening at 8 p.m. I'll be doing a slide of recap. Told you, those who joined late, the Zoom streaming won't be possible in the group. So either watch the part one, which is there in MPG, to revise. I'll be giving a short recap surely, or uh, attend part two as a part two separately. There will be some links as they were today in the previous presentation, since this is the continued presentation. But whenever it comes on YouTube, it will come in continuity: part one, part two, part three. Loans for three parts and value creation for part one and part two. So thank you so much. I hope your morning was useful. Uh, and I see you in the evening, surely.